I'm the Big LG Doc Gallows, and you're watching the Wrestling Junkies. Boom.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Wrestling Junkies Podcast. I'm Mr. Cincinnati, and I'm joined by the podcast dad. Bud, I know that things are a little bit frustrating. I know, no. I am a sympathetic friend. I am a sympathetic co-host. I know that it was a bit of a rough day yesterday for your beloved Philadelphia Eagles, and for that, I send my condolences despite the smile on my face.
Hello, Fernando. Great to have you here.
Oh, so now I'm just getting the silent treatment. Okay, all right.
One of our mutual friends. I got a text today.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Steve Wiggins. He said, "How you feeling this morning after yesterday's game?" And kid you not, my response was like a Bengals fan.
Damn, that's cold-blooded. Accurate, but that's cold-blooded.
It was like watching a car crash in slow motion. It just, I don't want to talk about it. Fire everyone, blow it up. AJ Brown, catch the ball. You wanted it so bad. How about you catch it? It's should be an interesting offseason. We'll say that.
That might be the most ironic part of all is how determined he was this season to make sure that that he was involved in that offense. And when he gets that opportunity,
he thinks he's Chase Brown, but he's really like a John Ross. So,
and it is the 450th episode of the Wrestling Junkies Podcast. I forgot about that because again,
what you can do
talking about football
is please follow us on.
Yes.
I got control of this now, so I'm very excited. Just a peek behind the curtain. I finally logged into StreamYard, so. I can control some things now. I'm excited.
Now you're just gonna be clicking shit this entire time, aren't you?
The entire time. I'm not gonna be paying attention to a word you say. But follow us on TikTok. Like us on Facebook.
He's so proud of himself. I can see it in
Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. And Mr. Cincinnati, please hit him with that one number.
Yes, one. Just one. Tell one person. There's always plenty of room at our table here at the Wrestling Junkies Podcast. Fuck the wrestling tribalism. We just like to have a good time talking about interesting stories. We may even argue with each other at times, but it's all love for this crazy, wacky, wonderful business that is professional wrestling. And just absolutely happy to have everybody here that loves what we do here. Tell one person. Let's spread the word. Because we're having a lot of fun, and like I said, there's always room at our table, so pull up a seat. We do have a brand new Wrestle Sips, that's going to drop this week as a nod to our new WWE champion, Drew McIntyre. It is called the Scottish Slikeout. It is very delicious. I cannot wait to share this with you guys. Also, Wrestle Words, our brand new fill-in-the-blank trivia, or not necessarily trivia, but game series is also dropping on TikTok this week. So if you're a fan of Mad Libs, you're absolutely going to love this. So again, like, share, subscribe, and show some love for our friends at the Main Event Wrestling Network at @mainevent_net on all social media platforms. You might have seen this announced over the weekend. There is a brand new show coming to the Main Event Wrestling Network called The Dusty Finish. It is going to be a weekly recap series of all the cool shit happening, not just in WWE or AEW, but the Indies, AEW, New Japan, TNA, like all of it. We're just, having a lot of fun talking wrestling here. Hello, Mr. Ramsey. Thank you for joining us. You're like really excited that you get to do this now, aren't you?
I am. Look, we, again, another peek kind of behind the curtain. I think we had fun last year. We had a good time. Yes. Made some strides, but I think me myself need to, take a look in the mirror and then be fully not committed, but focused again. And that's where we're at, and we're a partnership. So I'm gonna carry that weight, and we're gonna keep this going and keep it going strong. And it starts just like this. So
yes,
it's gonna be a good time. And yes, I will eventually come on the CFB 26. I haven't played in a while though, but again, thank you again. We are locked in. It's a big year.
Yes. And before we introduce our guest, quick programming note. This Wednesday, AEW Ring of Honor star Preston Vance will be on the Wrestling Junkies podcast. So grab your beers, grab your kegs, beer bongs, whatever it is that you want to have while you enjoy this interview with him. Nothing but laughs and good times here. So again, this Wednesday, 7 p.m., you can catch Preston Vance on the Wrestling Junkies podcast. Nick Teodoro is in the chats. It's always good to see my friend. Check out his show Friday nights on YouTube at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure to call in because he's got some fire takes and he wants to share them with you and he wants to hear what you have to say. But without further ado, we've got something really, really special lined up for you guys tonight. Joining us in just a moment is author Allison Miller, whose new book, Rough House, A Father, a Son, and the Pursuit of Pro Wrestling Glory, was named one of Kirkus Reviews' 20 best books to read in January, and that's no small feat. And this isn't just a wrestling book. It's a deeply human story about ambition, family, sacrifice, what it actually costs to chase a dream in one of the most misunderstood industries in the world. And this story follows our good friend, Hollywood Hunter James, as he attempts to follow in his father's footsteps and carve out a future in professional wrestling, capturing the grind, the heartbreak, the hope, and the very real emotional stakes behind the spectacle. And if you are in the Georgia area, Allison is going to be doing a multi-state bookstore. She's going to be hosting a Q&A at Barnes & Noble in Hunter on January 20th, the date the book is released. So make sure that you show up and show some love. We're excited, we're honored, and we're ready to dig into the real stories behind the ropes. Without further ado, please welcome Allison Miller to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. Allison, how are you tonight?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for coming on. We appreciate you coming on and spending some time with us. And we do have some fans of some wrestling books. Always love wrestling books. So yeah, we're excited to dive into this. Let's get it right off the bat. What drew you first to tell this story?
Well, it started when I went to a wrestling show here in Athens, Georgia in 2019. It was at a brewery here. It was a show called Southern Violence and Wrestling. It has since disbanded, and one half of the ownership of the show started a new show called Classic City Wrestling here in Athens. Wrestling shows, as I've learned, come and go. But this one, I remember just going there out of something fun to do on a Saturday night. I grew up in the late 80s, early 90s. So, wrestling was obviously a cultural touchstone for me, but I had never been a huge fan, and it certainly hadn't stuck with me. And I really had no idea that these local shows were happening. So that night, I felt something between the performers and the fans, and it was almost like you could touch it. I mean, you could see that what the fans were doing was compelling the action in the ring, and the performers really needed the fans there. The fans needed the performers, and I just had so many questions about who everyone was and what led them there. So later that year, I started a writing program at the University of Georgia in narrative nonfiction, which is basically cinematic writing, but journalism. So you're writing true stories, but you're writing in a way that kind of resembles fiction, which is kind of tricky because you have to make sure everything is accurate. You can't make anything up. It's a lot of composing scenes, and it requires a lot of effort in terms of reporting and kind of being there and taking notes, taking photos and video. So in the fall of 2019 is when I started reporting this book. So to give you, some reference on the scope of the project, the book comes out in January of 2026. So it's been a long time. So basically it started with that, the curiosity of what was going on in the ring. And I started, my first interview was with a wrestler named Justin Legend. And he really took me behind the curtain, kind of everything I needed to know to kind of get started, and then introduced me to a lot of other people here. And I just found this really rich community, just so passionate about the craft and about the relationships with each other in the ring, outside of the ring. I saw how much it meant to so many performers to be in the ring and how much it meant to so many fans to be around it. And it kind of goes back to this just almost like tactile feeling when you're in person watching a show. That's what really struck me, is how important these community events were to everyone involved. And also I learned that, how long this had been happening. The fact that wrestling persists and is so pervasive, not only here in my home state, but all over the country and all over the world. I think it says a lot about wrestling as an art form, as a form of entertainment, as something that you can engage in as a participant, as a fan. So, it started with me asking questions and showing up and taking notes.
I love that. I love that. Tell us about meeting Hunter for the first time, and what led you to the conclusion that he was the appropriate lens for the story that you wanted to tell?
Yeah, so the opening scene in my book actually takes place in the fall of 2019. So one of my very first kind of reporting stops was in the backyard wrestling ring, where Hunter, who was a few days before his 17th birthday, was there after high school wrestling practice, because he was an amateur wrestler in high school. So he'd like do his amateur wrestling high school practice, and then he would drive 20 miles to do some backyard wrestling. And at the time, I had no idea that I'd be writing a book. I had no idea that he would play a large role in the book. But as the years went by and I kind of dug deeper into the reporting, and I realized that I really needed a central character to carry the story. So kind of like someone that can walk the reader into these rooms and into these spaces and interact with a lot of the different people that I had encountered in the wrestling world here. And he's a great central character for a book because he's young, he's confident, he has a dream, and he's going after it. And all that is kind of rife for setback, as in, he's bound, something's bound to happen to him, right? Something bad, something good, both. So as a writer and a reporter, I knew that was very important. And I also did ask around and was able to confirm. And my hunch was that he was kind of a standout performer. And so I talked to a lot of other people about him, and that's, what I heard from tons of people.
So in the past, not as much now, but wrestling has always been kind of like a protected business. Like they don't let everybody in. You seem to have built trust with Hunter, and we know Hunter, he's an open book. But yeah. What did those first couple interactions feel like? And how did you end up gaining that trust? Because wrestlers do not trust just anybody. Like, they don't trust outsiders very well. So how did you end up building that trust with him?
Yeah, I think it comes down to, I showed up and I stuck around, and I went to these, I was in the back room a lot of different performances and practices on nights when there wasn't really anything happening. Part of that is because, I know as a person and as a reporter that no one likes it when someone just shows up and helicopters tell transactional. Here, I'm here for 3 hours, notes, I'm going to take your story and run with it. So that was one part of it. To do this big story, it's like you said at the beginning, it's a book, but it's like lots of other things, right? Lots of other things that many people can relate to in and outside the world of wrestling. So I feel like I built trust in that I talked to as many people as I could. I sat and I listened to their stories, and I found all of their stories so compelling. And then I was able to identify common threads. A couple of things that I mentioned earlier, how so many people had told me that wrestling was really a lifeline for them. It's like, they work, have hard jobs, and they have hard lives, and wrestling is kind of the Saturday night light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing, something they can look forward to. And I could sense the depth of it.
Yeah. Sounds like why we started this pod.
Yeah.
Now, Allison, the father-son relationship is an emotional core of this book. Why, in your opinion, do you think that wrestling magnifies this generational pressure, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, another thing that I heard over and over again from people is, I would ask them, so how did you get into wrestling? When did you become a fan? And almost every single time it was like, I used to watch it with my grandfather or my grandmother or my mom or my dad. It was almost always like this generational tradition that had been passed down. So I think I think every family kind of has those different touchstones. For some people, it's football. For some people, it's NASCAR. I mean, it could be lots of different things, but wrestling, it seemed to have this sticking power. And a lot, with Hunter and his dad, it was almost like their first language between a child, a toddler, and a parent. I mean, Hunter was miming out and reenacting the moves of the wrestlers that he was watching on TV with his father when he was like 2, before he could probably even speak full sentence. It's almost like this innate understanding of something. And it makes total sense that it's generational. I mean, it's fun to watch. Kids love watching it. If it's something that they can watch with their parents, I mean, how great is that?
Yeah, it's very similar to my story. Like my mom introduced it to me. I'm seeing now like my daughter getting more interested in wrestling as she's getting older. So that's for me, that's cool to see. Is there anything about their relationship that surprised you at any point in this process?
Well, I mean, so it was a little tricky navigating their relationship at first. I don't want to give away the book, but there is a point that they are kind of at odds with each other, and it's because of wrestling. So when I first started working on the book proposal, because with nonfiction books, you actually write a proposal, which is kind of an 80-page document. You take that out to publishers to try to sell the book. When I did that, I didn't have access to Hunter's father. He didn't want to talk to me at all because he was mad at Hunter. So, which was a little nerve-wracking for me as the writer, because I knew I wouldn't be able to tell the story that I wanted to in the full extent that I wanted to without getting access to him. So again, it just took time. It took years. So I did finally get to him, and once I sat down with him, it was like he was an open book too, and I'm really grateful for that. I'm so grateful for everyone that took the time to sit down with me at various points, or to answer my questions when I was in the locker room. You don't have to do that, especially when it's a stranger that you don't know and you don't know what they're up to. I mean, yeah.
So I want to go to the chats here really quickly. Nick's got a question for you, Allison. How does the research and writing process for this particular project differ from other things that you've written?
I would say it's similar but more intense. So this is the longest that I've ever spent working on a single writing project, right? My background is in journalism, but in newspaper and magazine pieces. So I might spend a week or a couple of weeks on something. And this has been 6 years. So I think it's different in that it starts with kind of casting a really wide net. Really, in addition to all the interviewing and reporting I was doing on the local scene here, I was also educating myself by reading other books on the history of wrestling. There's a lot of scholars out there that have, written extensively about wrestling. There's lots of books. I mean, the internet is filled with information. So, in the book, it's the father-son story about a single family, but it's kind of takes exits to explain wrestling history moments, and to kind of, to show readers why wrestling is here to stay, why it's been around so long.
Beautifully said.
Yeah. Let's talk about this book tour a little bit. What can fans expect from this Q&A that you're doing with Barnes & Noble?
Yeah, so that'll be my my publication day launch event here in Athens, Georgia. I've invited Hunter and his father to be there, and I wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest with you. I mean, this book wouldn't exist without them and without so many other people. And I really want readers to be able to not only ask me questions, but ask questions of them. So I'll probably read a short passage from the book, and there'll be a moderator to ask a couple questions from me, a couple questions from them, and then anyone who's there in the audience can ask us anything they want. And that'll be a similar structure for the rest of the book tour events too. I think I've got 14 cities. Hunter won't be able to join me on all of them, unfortunately, but I'm hoping to reach out to all the wrestling communities within each destination, and really and have as many workers there as I can. I know in Savannah, I'm expecting the Coastal Empire Wrestling guys, and I'll do a lot of outreach for each of these stops.
Speaking of Coastal Empire Wrestling,
Yeah, I was
Bryce
gonna say,
Cannon in the chat.
speak of the devil, he shows up.
buddy.
Yes. Yeah, Bryce knows. He's been instrumental in kind of helping me put together the Savannah event.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Love that.
He's so
Love
good.
that.
Yeah.
Why was it important for you to, take this on the tour and kind of, take the story on the road?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the same. It's kind of, I look at it the same as like televised wrestling versus in-person indie wrestling, right? Yes, it's fun to watch wrestling on TV. I think it's more fun to go in person. And so it's similar with the book. It's like, I have an audiobook too that I read. I'm the narrator for, obviously want to sell the book, but I really am excited to have conversations with people in these various places. I mean, I can't tell you how many times in my life in random places that I've met total strangers. Sometimes I tell them what I'm working on, tell them about the book, and then they launch into, like a 20-minute story about how they went to the show in Atlanta in 1986 or whatever. And, I just feel like wrestling is touches everyone's life. I mean, everybody has some kind of memory of it or some connection to it. And those are the stories that I love to hear.
And kind of along those lines, what would you say, because you came in, you had a passing familiarity with pro wrestling, but, not necessarily an avid follower, much like we are. What do people who don't watch wrestling get wrong about the industry?
Yeah, I mean, I faced a lot of maybe opposition is too strong a word, but I think misunderstanding from the publishing world. I think when I was trying to sell this book, I think there's this misconception about wrestling fans that they don't read books, they're wrestling fans. They don't understand anything, right? And it's just so not true. Maybe that's part of why I also want to go on tour, is to kind of break that stereotype. I mean, the storytelling that happens in wrestling is, and that's a kind of another theme of the book, is storytelling in the ring. I've found that there's certain stories that can only be told in the ring that kind of transcend language. So yeah, I mean, I hope that my book appeals to wrestling fans, but I also hope that it appeals to readers that are interested in kind of American history, in culture, in traditions, in art, because I think that they will be surprised to read some of the things that I discovered.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times you're like, that's not real. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Actually, if you pay attention, it is. But
Yeah.
the stigma's there. I can go on an hour's tangent about that. But I'm gonna do a quick kind of a lightning round with kind of your experience so far with wrestling and how you've liked it. What is your favorite wrestling trope that you've seen so far?
Oh wow, huh? I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll kind of defer to Hunter's character, like the whole, he started his character as the athletic kind of jock, and then once I kind of had him dig into his own character, and then he started telling me about all the inspirations for it, and that was another thing that interested me about wrestling and wrestling characters, is that, like, yes, it's an extension of yourself and it can be totally original, but more often than not, it's like there's this whole toolbox of character elements that you can draw from that have been used in various eras throughout wrestling history. So I don't know if I have a favorite, but yeah, I thought it was really, it's interesting that when Hunter first started wrestling, professional wrestling, his character was basically himself, his high schooler, as like a high school jock. So I think that kind of exemplifies how, I don't want to say it's easy to get in the ring. It's not. It's physically demanding. You have to be in shape. You have to know what you're doing. But one thing I love about wrestling is that it is open. I mean, I have found it to be a very inclusive space, and where your creativity can flourish.
Yes. Do you prefer heel or babyface?
Well, I mean, obviously the heels are more fun to heckle. um, yeah, I guess I don't know. Again, I don't have a concrete answer here either. I guess like any other fan, I have more fun at a wrestling show when I'm, yelling expletives at the bad guys. So
No,
I
not
guess I'll
you.
say heel. Yeah.
And then last one that I have, what was the moment that made you say, this has got to be a book?
Yeah, I think it was, a couple of writer mentors, in particular, a good friend of mine, John T. Edge, who's the host of True South on ESPN and an author as well. He was kind of along with me for this ride. I did 2 magazine pieces, one in Sports Illustrated. And, he was the first one that said to me, I think this can be a book. And so I think it's kind of like, again, making a comparison to wrestling, having someone, like that you respect kind of say to you, yeah, you can do this. It just makes a huge difference. And I've seen that happen in a lot of beginner wrestling rings too. I mean, like when you have someone to believe in you, that can really send you flying. So I don't know if it was a single moment. Certainly that helped, but I think I realized how lucky I was to have access to this incredible community and to be able to know and to realize that there was so many things happening. There's so many emotions, so much depth, and to be able to kind of mine that and bring that forward for people. Yeah.
Love that.
Well, Allison, this has been such a fantastic conversation. Congratulations to you on the book. I mean, 6+ years of incredibly hard work, and this is just a very, very exciting story that you're telling here. And after having the opportunity to tell this story, what advice would you give to somebody that may be chasing a dream in a risky industry?
Yeah. Being a writer is a lot like trying to make it as an indie wrestler too. I mean, it's like you're in the business of self-promotion. You're getting out there to perform every time you write anything. So I think it's like that. You just have to keep going. You have to keep trying and keep pressing. But I will say, the longer that you can kind of stay in a subject area and become, I mean, I'm definitely not an expert on wrestling, but I feel like I became an expert on the people and places in Georgia wrestling for the last 6 years. So I kind of like having the confidence, really, putting the effort in to kind of master sort of whatever story you're trying to tell is really valuable.
Love it. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Very well said. And, we'll certainly be taking that to heart with what we do here at the Wrestling Junkies. And I could not agree more with anything that you just said. Allison, thank you so much for joining us. Before we let you go tonight, where can everybody find you on social media? When is the book coming out? Where can everybody buy it?
Yeah, so it's Allison Lynn Miller. It's 1 L, 1 N. And the book comes out Tuesday, January 20th. You can pre-order it from any bookstore that you like. There's a website called bookshop.org that will connect you with your local indie bookstore. And then obviously I would love to have you at any of my book events. It's really great for the local bookstores if you buy it in person the night of the event. But yeah, and I'd love to hear from people. If you go to my website, AllisonLynnMiller.com, there's a contact me form. I'm on Instagram at Allison Lynn Miller as well as Facebook. Yes, please connect with me.
Well, we will certainly be doing that. We cannot wait to check out the book. Thank you so much once again for joining us. Best of luck on the tour, and can't wait to see what you do next.
All right. Thank you so much, guys.
No problem. Thank you. Take care.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you again to Allison Lynn Miller for joining us tonight, and thank you for joining us as well.
See it? Look, I'm getting ready to pre-order it right now, guys.
Yes, and the link is on. We did post about tonight's episode, so the Amazon link is in there as well. If you guys want to check this out, I know that I will be getting my copy. Again, congratulations to Allison as well as our friend Hunter James on an incredible story, and we're just really excited to dive into this book, and I'm sure that we're going to have some more conversation about it. But let's switch gears here. Big weekend in wrestling, podcast dad.
Did something happen?
something did happen. You didn't think they had the balls to actually do it, and they did it. Drew McIntyre is our new WWE champion.
They did it. They did it. Look, I'm not gonna complain. I'm not gonna complain. They did it. Yeah, it's wow. I did not think it was gonna happen. It seems like Cody was pushing for it, right? And that's the biggest takeaway for me is Cody's mind for the business. He's so smart. Like, dude's top of the card, Superman, the guy. And he's like, it's stale. We need to do something different. And like that shows like, okay, like Cody is that guy. Like he's not about, and I don't want, obviously not going to take anything away from Drew or anything from a show like that, but like Cody is smart enough to see that. Like he cares more about the business than like him, right? I think that's ingrained, and it's funny that we had Allison on to talk about the father-son relationship, but that goes back, I think, to Dusty to be like, hey, this business has got to stay strong, and Cody saw it, and it's a business, and I need to do something different. So, good on them. They did it, and we'll see what happens. I think Drew could hold this till Mania, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's and that's the thing, and I think that's what's most noticeable about this is we're not going right into the Cody coming out to address the crowd and immediately putting him into chase mode for this. There is a tournament to determine who will be in a Fatal 4-Way at Saturday night's main event. The winner gets Drew at the Rumble. So at this point in time right now, Cody is not in the title picture on the road to the Royal Rumble. Yeah. And that's huge because, I know that we talked about, again, switching it up, putting him back in chase mode, but he's nowhere near this right now. That he will probably declare for the Rumble. He sees that as his shot to get back to the title picture. I don't think that he should either.
Because that would be 3 for him, right?
Yeah, tying him with Austin.
Since he's been back, that would be 3. That'd be
3 Rumbles in 4 years. That would be some crazy fucking work.
It doesn't need to be done. It doesn't need to be done. My pick is now Sami Zayn. Like, and I threw that text out in the group chat. That's more about PR, in my opinion. So, I still think it could happen. I think Sami is going to do that. So,
nobody would bat an eye at it.
We wouldn't.
The same way that we talked, because there were Jey Uso winning last year divided the internet. I mean, and damn near right down the middle. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get that with Sami Zayn here.
Got a great promo during the commercial break today. Star. Nobody would be upset. But, we also have the wrinkle of Jago Fatu came back as well.
Yes.
And he cost Cody Rhodes.
Yes.
Whether he meant to or not. And that's an avenue for Cody now, right? Mm-hmm. That's going to be, Cody's going to be pissed off. And we saw the report that there's going to be a change to the character. Not necessarily a heel turn, but they said, I think, more aggressive. So, what way to start that off with Jacob Fatu?
It really is because, I mean, I think we can both say that he wasn't floundering before he went away with his injury. He'd gotten stale. It took him too long to kind of separate from the MFT and
he's got that too attached story. Solo.
Yeah, and that I mean, we've said that about Damian Priest hanging around the Judgment Day too long, and kind of that impacting Gunther's title reign too. It's Aleister Black. We've seen that so much here that this is an instant credibility boost for Jacob Fatu because he's likely going to find himself in a program with Cody Rhodes, because, at least for a little while, because it is. You may not have meant to, but you cost me my title. I'm not going to forget that. And especially, kind of before.
Like you said, I don't get that automatic rematch now. They've moved on. So you cost me that title. I'm pissed off. I don't get my automatic rematch. I'm going after you.
Yeah, and it's and I think that's what we need to look at now is I would say Cody's likely going to declare for the Royal Rumble. Jacob Fatu, I think, has another dominant showing in the Rumble this year. If for some reason, I mean, I don't want to see. I would rather see Sami win the Rumble here, but it also wouldn't rule out both of these guys being in the chamber either.
No, I will say though, if they want to continue this evolution of the character, Jacob Fatu should beat Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Even
on the road to WrestleMania, there are worse problems to have for Cody Rhodes. Yeah.
Because you said it too. They could do Roman and Cody without a title.
Yeah.
And I don't. Again, nobody would bat an eye. Like, I think it'd be fine. So.
Yeah. And Kevin, I do agree with this, and I think unfortunately it's because this is just kind of what they needed to do as part of getting out early to start their deal with ESPN, is promising more content for NBC. And
but they could rebrand some stuff. You know what I mean?
They could. I mean, yeah, but it doesn't. I mean, I think that this is. I think once a quarter would be cool, or especially like in that December, January, where there is no PLE, there gives you something to kind of look forward to. But yeah, no, you don't need more than 2 of these, in a quarter, especially with the heavy pay-per-view schedule that they already have.
Kevin also with another good comment that I like. We see this a lot with the champions. Like, they win the title, and then they kind of just don't defend it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I don't know why, because we see on television when they defend the title, like, it feels like a big deal. Like, we've seen the open challenge and there's a success, right? So every once in a while they should be defending the title on television, because the PLE spots are so limited now. Like, you only get 5 matches. Yeah. So I like this as well. More, yes, Jordan coming up is money. It's going to be good. Yeah. But yeah, we see it a lot. Like, they win the title and then they just don't defend for a minute. And it's like, oh yeah, shit, she is the champion. Like, I forgot. Oh, not even that. I don't want to say I forgot, but just that kind of reminder of, oh yeah, like, she has to defend that every once in a while.
Yeah, no, and like you said, with only so many, spots to go around, and Bruce recently did an interview about kind of why they stick to the 4 to 5 match card, and he thinks it's because people aren't going to remember. It's the recency bias of what people will remember if there's a show packed with 10 matches. I call bullshit on that.
Yeah, I mean, that's to me that's more of a shot at AEW than anything. But to each their own, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, I think 6 or 7 match card would be a sweet spot for them. Shit, I did do
that. Yeah. Sorry.
No, that's all good.
Hey,
that's all
good.
We
said 6-7 on the show. Get that trending.
No. And right now, women's tag division. Let's talk about that. Monday Night Raw in the books. We saw Rio come out and basically they're at the top of their game right now, only to be interrupted by Judgment Day, Bayley and Lyra, as well as because there's a triple threat. I'm blanking right now.
I'm trying to remember.
Kabuki Warriors. Sorry.
Yes.
So it's, I mean, women's tag division feels more important than it ever has before in the almost 7-year history of the titles, and that is because you've got all these major single stars that are moving over to that division, which creates more opportunities for some of the newer talent. That's why we're seeing Stephanie and Raquel get their opportunity to have a meaningful program, and when they've repaired this division and brought it back to what it should have been at its inception, they're all going to go right back to challenging for the singles titles, which I'm fine with, because we've kept them away from it, because we were starting to kind of have that what do we do with Rhea now conversation. We were having that a lot more than we should have last year, because she had been kind of going back and forth with Io for the title.
Yeah, and it looks like at Saturday night's main event, Rhea Ripley and Io, I guess that happened tonight, we'll take on Liv and Roxanne for the titles. So that's it seems like it will be at Saturday night's main event. So that's good. Let's talk about, there's a few things, and I'll just kind of go rapid fire here and get your quick take. Braun Breaker getting suspended.
It adds another layer to it. And I like the fact that Paul Heyman pointed out, okay, well, you put your hands on him first, which is what caused him to snap. It's not normally something that we would see from a general manager character. And I love that we're getting that with Adam Pearce. He's always one of those guys that they don't, yes, he's kind of in the middle of everything, but they don't make him a focal point of a story very often. And I like that we're seeing that here, because he is one of the more impartial authority figures that we've had in WWE history.
That's when you look at it. Like, look at all the GMs in the past. Like, you can sit there and name them off: Teddy Long,
Vicky,
Bischoff, Vicky, Stephanie.
Amen.
Not all of them are like wrestlers. Like,
yeah,
he's a wrestler. Like, he gets pissed off, and like, that's just his mentality. Like, he's gonna exude his authority because I'm in charge, and I've been in the ring. Like, I know what you guys are going through, kind of thing. So I like that aspect of it as well. Finn Balor challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship.
I hate that it's happening on TV, and I hate that we're only getting it with a week build. But
yeah, I mean, they're in Ireland, so
I know, I get it. I do. Like, I do understand that, but I hope the 2026 is a much better year for Finn Balor. I do.
It's off to a good start. I mean, he's getting a WWE Championship match. Like,
it is. I mean, and I love the callback that Punk had to
Punk got a great promo on him.
He did, and I love that Balor called that. Well, you did say that I was one of the ones you wanted to wrestle when you held that title, and Punk clapped back. Well, yeah, I've been champion for 2 months. Where the fuck you been?
Mm-hmm.
That's brilliant. I love that because even Raquel kind of clocked him before he came out to the ring of like, hey, you need to get your head straight on too, because you're playing games and hanging out. You're trying to make sure that we're doing everything that we need to do to bring gold back to the clubhouse. You've lost the tag team championships a couple of times last year. Those reigns were nothing to write home about. Dom's going to be out for a while. JD's kind of just, he wasn't there last week, or today, I should say. I didn't see him. Yeah, it's about time for you to start carrying your weight here in Judgment Day too. Like you had the epic, you took over the group from Edge, great, and there was a reign of dominance that you had for a while, but you started to flutter out, and here we are.
And then last one, real quick, Gunther tapping out but winning.
I like that a lot. Actually, it continues the you tapped out phase. And Gunther doesn't give a damn because it's like, guess what? I still beat AJ Styles. I still beat John Cena. Who gives a fuck? I mean, it's like, yeah, he'll take the you tapped out chance. It doesn't matter. He retired the greatest of all time, and he's gonna make it his mission to end AJ Styles' career too. That's where we're at.
Yeah, but I just don't want this to become a trend.
That's fair.
I don't want it to become a trend. That's it.
Becky Maxine Part 5 next week. Why? Give me something new and fresh. They got to put a bow in the story, and automatic rematches are still a thing sometimes. So that's kind of what we're getting here. Do you think we see AJ at any point before the Rumble?
No.
Okay.
Maybe the go home before the Rumble. I don't see her over on the European tour.
Sure.
So yeah, that's all I had as far as rapid fire. Also, Ray Phoenix is not hurt. Why is he not with his brother?
I don't know. I don't think that will be. I think that they're kind of teeing that up, though. We're starting to see Dragon Lee and Penta get beat up a little bit. I think that I don't know. Let's be patient here.
Good. Yeah, that's all I got.
Because they're in Ireland next week, pretty much. That's it.
Money.
Yep.
A lot of the questions we always ask, the answer is money. So,
yeah,
that's how you sell tickets. You're gonna put the hometown guy in the match against one of the crowd favorites, and make some money.
Yeah, that's the way it is. But that is going to do it for us tonight. Thank you to everybody that joined us. Thank you again to Allison Miller. That was an incredible conversation. Make sure to check out the book coming out January 20th. Once again, if you are in the Southeast United States, the tour details are on her Instagram as well. But here is the schedule of where she's going to be with some select appearances by our friend Hollywood Hunter James. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us. Once again, remember, this Wednesday, Preston Vance joins the Wrestling Junkies podcast. Tune in for that conversation, 7 p.m. Eastern. Podcast Dad is always great to catch up with you.
Hopefully
things get a little bit better for you. I know. I know.
You were doing so well.
Just end it.
Just end it. It's gonna suck when Hendrickson's in an Eagles uniform next year, isn't it?
What?
It's gonna suck when Hendrickson's in an Eagles uniform next year, isn't it?
A little bit, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I know. But I'm used to disappointment. So
you know the best part was, and then we'll sign off here real quick. But Hugo will get this one. As I watched the final, seconds tick down off the clock, I got angry. I ripped off my hoodie. pissed off. And what do I have under that hoodie?
What do you have on?
A Phillies t-shirt. So I'm like, oh, good. I get to look forward to this shit in a couple months too.
Oh, buddy. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, go Bearcats too, right? Love you guys. Please subscribe. We have fun here. Please subscribe.
Yeah. Like, share, subscribe. Tell one person. Thank you guys so much for joining us. That's the podcast Adam, Mr. Cincinnati. This has been episode 450 of the Wrestling Junkies podcast. And until tomorrow, enjoy those graps.